Hi, thanks for joining today's Tech Talk. I'm Scott Nitty, the Director of Technology Solutions for Converge Technology Group. Today we're going to discuss Microsoft Teams Cisco hybrid calling. Stay tuned. Converge Technology Group is an award-winning IT service provider driving business outcomes for our clients. We've been in business for 16 plus years and we provide full lifecycle services for the solutions that we implement. We have a proven track record with the ability to execute and provide outstanding customer satisfaction. At Converge Technology Group, we're able to support our clients domestically and internationally, where most of our clients are headquartered out of the tri-state area. We have four primary practice areas: enterprise networking, collaboration, data center and cloud, and security, all which can be supported leveraging our award-winning managed services offering, Assist 360. For today's Tech Talk, we're going to focus on collaboration and how Microsoft Teams integration with Cisco can provide a more productive experience for your end users. Let's discuss some of the Microsoft Teams integration challenges that our clients are facing. Our clients have made significant investments in the Cisco on-premise platform. It's been a tried and true platform for them. It's a market leader. It's a single provider for both the application platform and the endpoints. It provides flexible consumption, whether it be in the cloud or on-prem, where they started, or a hybrid of both. Very feature rich, so the capabilities and the features that we've seen built into PBX for years and decades have been integrated over time into this system, so providing a lot of flexibility from a feature perspective to the end users. And we also have the capability to natively integrate with various third parties, and one of them in this case, when we're discussing today's topic, Microsoft Teams. When we look at a lot of our clients that are looking to make a change, they said, hey, listen, I'm leveraging Microsoft Teams today. Let me just go and enable calling. That's great, but there are some considerations, some challenges that they do face from a cloud-only perspective, right? So if I move my on-prem system into the cloud, now my way or my path up into the cloud becomes that of focus. How do I communicate up into the cloud? Do I have diverse paths? Is it resilient? Do I have control over those paths? Can I provide an overall great quality experience? And a lot of times the answer is no, right? So you may have diverse paths, but you may not have full control over those links. It also may require, if you're looking to keep handsets, some say I'm going to get rid of the handset and just leverage the Microsoft Teams client. Others say I want to keep my handsets. Well, typically that's going to drive the need for new handsets. And depending upon where you are in the life cycle, where the clients are in their life cycle, they may not be looking to make that investment. So looking for alternatives, right? But still wanting to leverage Teams as an application. And then when we start to look at the experience, if we were to put new handsets out from a Microsoft Teams perspective, and they weren't the same similar type of handset that they have today, now we have an overall new end user experience. User training has to happen, and we have that feeling from starting from scratch. And last but not least, a lot of limitations when it comes to those features that our customers have loved over the years, right? So that goes to earlier comment around the flexibility of those features that have been built into the system. When we look to a cloud calling platform such as Microsoft Teams, there's limitations there. So we want to be able to provide the most feature-rich experience to our clients. So how do we bring these two platforms together? I have my on-prem solution, I have Teams, right? We're not going to change the way, if a customer's decided to go to Microsoft Teams, we're not going to change the way that they want to communicate and say, no, let's focus on the WebEx app or some other app for that matter. They're going to want to leverage Microsoft Teams, and how can we make that the best overall experience without doing a forklift upgrade and totally making a 360 turn in order to go to one direction? Well, there's a better way to do things, and we can leverage integration techniques in order to provide the best overall experience for those users, and knowing that their journey is to Teams, but also understanding that they have requirements from a day-to-day business perspective, from a communication standpoint, that Teams currently can't provide. So we have really two options in front of us today. On the left, we have our WebEx calling app, right? So through the WebEx, through the Microsoft Teams App Store, the marketplace, I can go and I can install a WebEx call app. That call app integrates with the WebEx app that's on that desktop, and it allows me to integrate the web from a client side, the WebEx Teams interface with the backend Cisco on-prem solution. This solution's been over time has been getting more developed. Earlier on, it had a lot of limitations. Still has a requirement to have the WebEx app installed, right? So even though the experience is very forward-facing from a Microsoft Teams perspective, the reality is that on the back end and some of the back end communications, we're still relying on applications, even though that's transparent to the end user, right? So, and at the same time, we're not really leveraging the native calling capabilities of Microsoft Teams. So a lot of those customers that maybe have E5 or E3 with add-ons for the calling aspect of it, we're really not leveraging that. We're really client driven at this point, right? So very client focused, apps installed, and whatever features we have available to us from an integration perspective with the Cisco backend system at that point in time is what's given to us. So we've had a lot of requests from our customers saying, I really need a more native experience. I do not want to rely on plugins. I've had all crazy experiences in the past that they don't work for me. What can Converge do in order to provide support from my Microsoft Teams environment, leveraging an on-prem system? Because this is the direction that we're going, but I do not want to provide a subpar solution to my end user. I want to provide the same functionality, features, and same reliability that I had in the past, but being able to integrate it into Microsoft Teams natively. So what we came up with was what we call Converge Connect. And with Converge Connect, we're leveraging some of the native capabilities of Microsoft Teams with where we have capabilities to integrate with third-party systems, but we also have some custom back-end development that was done in order to provide a more, I guess, seamless experience. So when we look at the right-hand side, we have Microsoft Teams. We have a direct routing set up between Microsoft Teams and the Cisco on-prem system. So this allows us to leverage the native calling capabilities within Teams and extend the user's DIDs. So I'm Scott Nitty. Scott Nitty has a Cisco phone at my desk, and I have a DID on my phone. I can have that DID also reside in the cloud. If somebody calls me on my desk phone, it's going to also simultaneously ring my Teams client. And my Teams client rings, it's going to be the native experience. So there's no plugins or anything that's required. And that native experience can be on any device. So it can be my mobile device if I have Microsoft Teams on it, or it can be a laptop or some PC-based device as well. Wherever Microsoft Teams resides and can receive a call, it's going to receive a call since we're doing direct routing into the Microsoft Teams cloud. Same holds true. If somebody were to call me from a Teams client, if somebody were to call me from a Teams client, they click on Scott Nitty, and it's going to, the call flow would be that it's going to ring my Teams client, but at the same time, it's going to also ring my desk phone, really. So providing that seamless integration both back and forth. Also, and we call it simultaneous ring or single number reach, but there's a lot of considerations to take in place in order to get that working effectively, and that's not something that just happens by default. So with Converge Connect, we're able to make and receive inbound calls into the Microsoft Teams cloud. We're leveraging the Microsoft Teams client, so PSTN calls could come in, extension dialing can come in from the Cisco system into the Teams client, outbound calling, whether it be from the Teams client into the Cisco on-prem system, from the Teams client out your existing PSTN connectivity. And like I mentioned before, if it's a Microsoft Teams client calling another Teams client, it can be Teams to Teams, or it can also be Teams, that other person Teams to a Cisco device, right? So seamless integration, transparent. Also, some of the features that we've come to love when it comes to Cisco on-prem, like around single number reach. So back in the day, we always had conversations around walking into your desk, all right? So I'm on the road, I'm mobile. Somebody calls me on my desk phone, it simultaneously rings my mobile device. I come in and I want to pull that call back to my desk phone. The same exists in this architecture with Converge Connect. So if somebody calls you and we simultaneously ring Teams, you pick it up on your Teams client, right? And you walk back into your desk and you hang that up. You can resume that call on your Cisco device, right? So having full supervision over those calls. So really great experience, allows us to keep those handsets, not have to life cycle replace them, provide this consistent end user experience, but really just leverage that platform to extend into the native capabilities of Microsoft Teams, understanding that Microsoft Teams is my primary communications application. From here, we're going to jump into the Converge Connect demonstration where I actually take you through the call flows and how the actual Converge Connect solution works. All right, so let's see what this looks like with the Converge Connect integration into Microsoft Teams client. So up on display right now, we have my Microsoft Teams client out of box, right? So this is all native stuff that we see in front of us. We have our calls tab in addition to other native Microsoft Teams tabs, right? But we're focusing on this as part of this demo. And then within that, you'll see my work number. So this, we actually have a program with my DID that we have on Unified Communications Manager, and this DID is not assigned to Microsoft Teams PSTN, right? This is a DID that's assigned to a SIP trunk from another PSTN provider with our on-prem system. So we're able to get that up into Microsoft Teams, configure it, and also let Microsoft Teams know what my extension is. So this way, if somebody wants to call me within Teams, they have the option to either to click on me to call, right, within Teams, or they can also enter my extension. Down below, we're using, you'll see forwarding. So we have simultaneous ring happening. So it can call my on-prem environment if somebody calls my Microsoft Teams client. And then we have single number reach for vice versa. It's important to note that this will not work out of box. All right. So and that's one of the reasons why we developed Converge Connect, was because there's certain programming that needs to happen on the back end and custom programming that needs to happen in order for this to seamlessly work. Otherwise, the two will step on each other and it will cause failures. So that's what that is. And then down below, you see my headset. So to start with, what I'm just going to show up here is I'm going to type in my cell phone number. And then you'll see that I'm proceeding with a 9, just like everything else. 9 is our code to get access. So I'm just going to click on call. And then the normal screen is going to come up where it says it's trying to connect, right? It's going to try to call me. It's connecting. And then I see coming in my cell phone, although you can't see it, I'm going to answer it. And you'll see once connected, we'll see that the timer is incrementing and my name is here. Right, so right now I'm connected to my cell phone. We have two-way audio. Although it's on my headset, you can't hear it, but trust me that that's happening and functioning fine. Right, so right now I just have a regular PSTN call. I'm leveraging my PSTN capabilities on-prem to enable Microsoft Teams to be able to make and receive external calls. So right now we did an outbound call. I'm going to hang this call up just by clicking leave. Right, so now that call is hung up on my end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to simulate a call coming into from the PSTN. So I'm going to have my cell phone. I'm going to call my work number, right, which is coming in through the SIP trunk on-prem, going across our direct routing up into Microsoft Teams, right? So when I call my work number, we should see a call come in on Microsoft Teams. So you hear my phone ringing. We may not hear it, but you'll see my call coming in, right? I'm going to click on answer. Now I have a completed call, right? And again, we're incrementing and you see my name. So demonstrated an outbound call to the PSTN, an inbound call from the PSTN, all leveraging the on-prem PSTN services. Now, important note, and it's actually a really nice thing. And I'm going to show you a side-by-side. I'll pop up a little screen where you can see what it looks like when a call comes in. But if I were to hang this up, let's just say I want to have take it on my desk phone or what have you. The single number reach capabilities that you normally have within an on-prem environment are true within this as well. So meaning that if I wanted to just to pick up my headset and pull it back to my physical phone on my desk, I have the option to do that just by clicking on leave. And then when I click on leave, it's done with Microsoft Teams, but my phone actually now provides me a resume where I can pull it back to my phone. So the capabilities where we have that we can pull back calls to the phone is also true here because we're keeping supervision. So when a call comes into your number and is sent up to Microsoft Teams, we're keeping supervision within your phone. So in the event that you wanted to pull it back to your physical handset for some reason, you have the option to do so. So all the rules of single number reach come into play here as well. So working seamlessly. You would expect extension to extension dialing to work within Teams. It works fine, right? So that's native. Nothing's happening there. We're not doing anything special outside of just programming the extension of the individuals within Microsoft Teams. And then we also have the capability, and I'm not going to be able to demonstrate it here, but it's just part of the configuration where if I want a Microsoft Teams client to call an extension within Call Manager, I can extension dial them as well, right? So I can extension dial them. It's going to ring the Microsoft Teams client and at the same time ring their desk phone. So if they choose to pick it up in Microsoft Teams, it will pick it up in Microsoft Teams, or if they choose to pick it up on their desk phone, they'll pick it up on their desk phone. So it's going to ring both, which is great. And then the same holds true from if I wanted to source a call from my physical phone to Microsoft Teams just internally, right? Nothing to do with the PSTN. I also have the capability to do that as well. So with that being said, hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of how this works and kind of what the experience would be. I'm going to, like I mentioned before, I'll show you how that resume looks like on the phone. I'll put that into the video and you'll see that side by side. But if you have any questions or you wanted to get a little bit more information on Converge Connect, please reach out to your account manager and have a great day. Take care now.